Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé, the other way. Let's see what comes out of my face as I watch.
Hi, honey.
Hi, sweetheart.
What you doing?
I was just finishing my breakfast.
How are you feeling today?
I'm okay. Yeah.
Last night, when we got back from Mahmoud's uncle's house, we agreed to just stop talking about our problems for now because we're exhausted.
Yeah, and another thing that happened in that series of fights is she was really drawing a line. She's like, I started out originally by covering my head, but I can't do it. It's uncomfortable. It's hot. I feel like I'm giving up a part of me. Sure, from the neck down, I'll try to adjust, but I can't. I don't want to cover my head. I just can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give that up. That's a hard line in the sand. And he said essentially something along the lines of, well, you'll come around. You'll do it eventually because that's what you'll do. You have to do it eventually. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Oh, well, you will. You'll eventually do it. And so, yeah, there seems to be something going on with him. But maybe he's backed into a corner culturally. I don't know. But I don't see how this can work unless they experiment with going to a different country where they don't have to do that, or maybe even a different part of Egypt where they don't have to do that.
So today, we're going to try and just have a better day, I guess.
I was thinking about what my uncle said. I have teach you how to pray because it's on me.
Right. That's what I was talking about, is that it's his job. Not that it's his responsibility to serve her, but it's his responsibility to change her, to control her, to make her do something. It's on him. That's what I think was being told to him.
Really been an issue because of the swimsuit that Mahmood makes me wear. You're the only person I would do this for.
I know, honey. I'm ready to do anything for you.
Okay. Do you have to wear, this is a weird question. Do you have to wear something under it? Do you?
And that's a relevant question, given all the cultural differences and you can't assume anything. So, yeah, do you have to wear something under it, or are you not supposed to wear something under it? And then he does that face, which he kind of looks like Prince, does he not?
What?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Well, I need to know.
I don't know.
I don't understand. He doesn't know. That's fine. I could imagine him saying, I don't know. I don't know what my mom does or my sister-in-law does. So, I don't know. Use your best judgment. Just say that. Instead, he's disgusted that she would ask. Maybe it's women's stuff or something, or he's embarrassed in front of the cameras or something.
Mahmood? Mahmood?
What, Nicole?
What did I do now?
Nothing. Just go get ready.
So this is how the fight starts? It does have to do with covering her head in a swimsuit that looks like it has, a cutout for your head. And this is how the fight starts?
I think Mahmoud's mad because I asked if I need to wear something under the swimsuit. I get so tired of him always getting so mad at me, and it's like he really resents me for being American, I think. But he chose me.
Interesting. Yeah, that could be it as well, that he is recognizing, my God, she's so not Egyptian that she doesn't even know what she's supposed to wear underneath the clothing in this bathing suit. She doesn't know. She's so ignorant. She's so stupid, or I don't know, that she doesn't even know. And I'm so disgusted. Is that what's happening? At least that's, I think, how she's just interpreting it.
Anxiety about wearing this swimsuit today, but I'm doing this for Mahmoud.
So she's talking about how this swimsuit really puts into focus what she's dealing with and what her life will be like. I think she is okay with following traditions in public or in certain situations. Like she was okay with covering her head when they were praying, and so now they're going to a public place to go swimming. She talked about how she's been to places where there was swimming in Egypt, and there are plenty of women who weren't dressed like this, who just had one-piece, swimsuits on, as she was saying. And she's now realizing just how much she has to give up or how much she's lost or something. I don't know. Their love must be strong because they have been fighting a lot. She is profoundly upset and crying a lot of times, and you could just see it right there. It's just, she's sad. And so I wonder, is this the end? Is this the beginning of the end?
So this is
Now, I don't want to make light of this, of course, but if you wanted to fit in on a Star Trek set, you could do worse. But it makes sense, I guess, because you're trying to wear, it's probably material that doesn't soak up the water. You don't want it to not cover the head, so I guess that's the solution right there, right?
a bikini. I'm choosing not to wear the hijab part of this bathing swimsuit because I don't wear hijab.
Interesting. So that's the undergarment, and it has pants, and then you put the full outfit over the top of it, and then you go to the beach. Well, why would you wear that? What would be the point of wearing that underneath?
You can borrow this one.
Maybe next time I get one.
Okay.
Try how feel.
Yeah, just so you know.
I think it's good. It's like the sun not hurt. I know it will take time.
Yeah.
I can understand, but this your crazy husband.
My husband is crazy.
I will say that they're talking about it in a much better way. Of course, we know that because that 5 hours earlier bit that they're going to get in a huge fight eventually here. But in this moment, he's being very thankful. Earlier I thought that she wears a hijab over it, and I don't know if she just meant she was just not going to wear. Anyway, point is that he's being very kind. I thought he was immediately going to pounce on her because she didn't have the hood on, and he's being very kind. He's being very, complimentary, trying to help her and saying that he's a crazy husband and I'm sorry. And so it's going well so far, but we know it escalates.
You love him anyway.
Yeah.
So this is what happening to you when you love some Egyptian guy.
I wish I knew.
Yeah, so you have to tell all people around you never.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just got to laugh about it. So it's good to have humor about that.
Like you more strong than me, honey. You leave your country, leave everybody. Change your clothes, change your mind about things. This all like I don't know if I'm in your situation I can do or not.
I think that like a little bit of compromise will go a long way.
So he's saying, I don't know if I could do what you're doing here. You're amazing. You're strong. She's still wanting compromise. And yeah, I totally get her position, but it doesn't seem like it's possible for him. It doesn't seem like he can compromise. Again, I'd be curious as if they went to the States, or just another country that didn't have this kind of tradition, or like I said, just a different part of Egypt, if he would still care, because I don't know if he cares. But I mean, I know he cares. Well, anyway, point is that she's now going to talk about compromise. I don't think he's open. I think he's been pretty clear that he is not open to compromising on these issues.
Or just my way. Usually it's just your way.
Yes, my love. I understand that, but like if I change something like to make you very happy and not make me happy, still we have the same problem. You understand?
Right, honey, but that's what I'm saying is like to compromise means that like it hurts a little. Like it hurts a little to do that. You have to move a little bit more towards the center.
I think this is a cultural misunderstanding, as I've been talking about. I don't think. I highly suspect, or I know. What she's in the realm of is you have your wants and I have my wants, and they clash, and so let's compromise. That's the fair thing, right? You want to go on a vacation for 10 days. I want to go on a vacation for 20 days. Let's compromise at 15. It's a very common thing, I think, among all humans. I don't know, maybe it's a cultural thing, but a very common thing that people in my culture, and I think my culture is similar to her culture. She's West Coast United States, which isn't that different across the West Coast. There are many different subcultures, of course. Anyway, point is that she's operating from that point of view. I think he's operating from, there's no compromise when it comes to God. There's no compromise. This isn't my word. This is God's word. You don't compromise with God. That is that's the devil or that's sacrilegious. You don't compromise with God. You don't say, well, I know you have the 10 commandments, but how about I just break 5 of them? We'll just compromise. Like, you can't do that. So I think he's not going to compromise. And then she'll get upset because she'll feel like he's being rigid or unfair. But I don't think it's possible for him to compromise in that way. I think he's trying to compromise in ways that he can by giving her time, by being complimentary when she does adhere to the rules, by trying to apologize in his meager way. But I don't think he can compromise on this issue.
I moved a lot, honey. I moved a lot. So I promise you I will do my best, but change my mind about things.
Like what things?
I was saying what
Okay, you'll think.
what I can do. I promise you I will do more because I really love you, okay?
Okay.
And it's so important to me to see you happy.
Yeah, he says a lot of those phrases, and I think in the past for Nicole, that would have given her hope. I think she interpreted all these things because it would be easy to interpret it as, okay, eventually you'll give in and I can wear what I want to wear. But I don't think that's what he's saying. At least it hasn't demonstrated to mean that. Or he's just saying it to bide time. I could absolutely see that given his behavior. But I could also see him saying, once you start adhering to the rules, then we can actually start working together on all sorts of things. I think that's what he's saying.
When we went to change out of our swimsuits, while the cameras weren't rolling, I walked up to Mahmood and he was acting funny, and I asked him what's wrong, and he said something passive aggressive to me, like you care anyway. I don't know why he said it, but I think it was totally uncalled for.
Well, who knows, but maybe she didn't notice that she hurt his feelings somehow. Maybe he was just being nice on the cameras about I think she called it a rikini. I don't know, lots of questions.
Can you stop now?
And it seems like nothing. It seems like what he said was sort of like a nothing, but it had been building. And I'd had enough.
Okay, so she's clarifying, saying that, yeah, in the moment it wasn't that big of a deal, but this anger had been building for a long time, which, yeah, I think it has been clear that she has been frustrated and angry, him too.
And I just snapped.
I don't understand why you doing this now.
Leave me the alone, Mahmoud.
What I did to you now?
Just your whole attitude, like everything
What
about
I did
you.
to you? Tell me.
I'm going to take a guess and say that for Nicole, which makes sense, that what she was saying earlier is really what pushed her over the edge, the realization of what she's dealing with, what she has to give up, what she has to lose in order to stay here. Maybe even she's resigning to the loss that she's committing to staying there, and she truly knows that she's never going to get things back, or at least that's the contemplation, that's the decision that she's at. And so I'm guessing that was boiling underneath. She was managing while she was at the pool, and then he said something that was, according to her, passive aggressive, and it just she didn't have any capacity to deal with that. That's my guess.
Tell me what
Everything about you.
Tell me what I did now.
Everything about you.
Tell me
right
what
now.
I did to you now. Tell me exactly what I did.
Just always picking at me, and I'm tired of it.
Tell me what I
Mahmoud.
did exactly there.
Just leave me alone.
I need to know what I did there.
Just leave me alone.
Let me know.
You know what you did.
What?
So I'll comment on what she is saying. She's saying, you know what you did. You're always nitpicking at me. And I'm guessing from his point of view, he's like, I thought we had a good moment and I'm confused. I think she could be more specific of, I don't like this whole thing. It's not just what happened earlier. This whole thing is driving me nuts. So I think that would perhaps help him, because I think he might say, no, you must be confused. It must be a misunderstanding. I think that. And then from his point of view, and I get it, but she's saying, leave me alone. You just got to leave her alone. And he's grabbing her. It's just not okay.
What I did. I want
know what you did.
I don't know.
I
No, that's what
don't
I
even
said.
remember. Just leave me the alone. I'm tired of you. Tired of it.
I'm not going around like that the street, okay?
What?
Where do you go now?
I don't know. Who cares? Just leave me alone.
Sir,
I
just
need you
stop.
to leave me alone. I just need you to leave me alone.
Okay, just let's go back home and you can.
And he's grabbing her. And I'm just going to take a guess and say that in his culture, it's expected or okay for him to grab her and control her this way. It's not okay. I imagine a lot of people might look at Nicole and say, where are you going? But she has the right. She's a grown woman. She can make her own choices. She can take risks if she wants to. She knows the landscape. I'm guessing from his point of view and his culture, and certainly people think like this in my town as well, men, that it would be irresponsible for him to let her go because she could be in danger, which could be true. So she might do a little help by saying, look, I'm just going to sit over here and I want you to go sit over there. Because she's like, I don't know where I'm going. So yeah, you're in a big city. Where are you going to go? You don't speak the language. You don't know how things work. So surely you're not just going to wander around and get lost. But of course, she would have the right to do that if she wanted to. She's a grown adult. She can do that. But it might help him. She's like, I just need a break. I'll sit here. You go sit over there. Leave me alone. I'm not running away. I just need some time to myself.
No, let me go.
I will leave you alone, Nicole. Just let's go home and whatever.
I'm tired of it. Like every single second, like of every day that I've been here so far, it's just you picking at me. Like pick.
Because they pick anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who knows what's happening off camera, but in terms of what we've seen, I think he's enacting his family tradition, his cultural tradition. And I don't think he thinks of it as picking. I think he thinks of it as getting her to do what she originally agreed to do. And we heard them having a conversation. I didn't include it, but they were talking about how originally she did agree to wear the headdress. She did agree to do all the things. And then she didn't like it, so she's now pulling back. And so he's like, you originally agreed to do it. And you know, she can certainly change her mind, but I think from his point of view, he's like, I'm not nitpicking you. I'm doing what we need to do, is I think his point of view.
Yeah, constantly. Nothing's not good enough for you ever. Go find some other.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah, she shouldn't push him, but she has the right to try to get away from him, and now he's grabbing her again. Yikes. Yikes. I don't care if this is culturally okay. I do not care, because you can't do that to people. Now, I'm guessing she's panicking. I was wondering what was going on for her. I think what's happening. So I'm just going to take a guess to say it's been building over time, and then wearing the bikini, I think she called it, I think it really pushed her over the edge, really put it into sharp focus what she was dealing with. And then even having him shower her and saying, oh my God, this is so great. And I think she's like, here we are. This is my life now. This is me giving up who I am. This is me giving up everything. And I'm a shell of a human being. I can't do this anymore. And I think she just wants to break up and go home. And I think she's panicking and saying, leave me alone. I'm just going to wander the streets. I think if she had a time to think, she'd be like, okay, fine, let's go home, but I'm flying home. I don't want to be with you anymore. I think he would actually be better with that than her running off into the streets.
I'm trapped in this craziness. Every single second, picking on me, picking at me. He says it like behind the scenes, like so that like no one's paying attention and nothing's ever good enough for him. Like, I've had it.
Okay, so she's saying that behind the scenes, away from the cameras, he's picking and picking and picking. Okay, I mean, we could see that, right? We could see that.
He says he didn't do anything to me. He hopes I find someone right for me. And if I didn't go with him in the Uber, then we were gonna be divorced. I just like don't have anything left in me at the moment.
So, I don't know. On one hand, I'm thinking, okay, well, this is the end, right? He's like, if you don't come with me, we're getting a divorce. And she says, I don't give a F what you do. And he's like, fine, okay. So you think, well, this must be the end. But often on these shows, it's not the end. And so you could look at this as just a manifestation of a fight. Plenty of people will threaten divorce and maybe even start the process, but get back together multiple times. So, and they've kind of done that, right? That was the original thing. They got married, and then she left, went to the States. He thought he would never see her again, and she's back. So it could be a pattern for them. And the other interpretation, if long-term they stay together, is that this is a cultural shock wave for her. That eventually, it was interesting when, I didn't show it, I don't think, but when they were praying together, she seemed to really enjoy it. And she liked the ceremony, she liked the the practice, I think she really stepped into it, right? And she even said to him, she's like, you should have shown me this earlier. I like this part of it. I like this part of my religion that I've converted to. And it makes me wonder if they focused on those things, then these other elements that annoy her would seem less annoying. I don't know. I don't know. All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.